You ready? It's the Roundtable.
Well, welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to me on Broadway World over here on the Broadway Podcast Network, iHeart, and Spotify, and more. You know, before I was a theater person, I was a music business person. I was a music business major at William Patterson University in New Jersey. And I read about some of the greatest producers and industry executives. And one of them, and one of the greatest executives and one of the greatest companies ever, like ever, if you look about it, is Atlantic Records. Our next guest has worked with some of the best musicians and greatest singers of all time. If that means Shaka Khan, if that means Bette Midler, if that means Roberta Flack, if that means Dionne Warwick, if that means the cast of Rent, etc., producing and assisting and putting out the music of our life. And now he's got his own project, the second volume coming out, musical theater. How do you go from working with the biggest, most incredible stars ever to literally working away in a dungeon of musical theater writing? Well, TJ's done it all, and we're going to find out all about it. TJ Armand, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Robert. Thank you so much. That was a huge introduction, and I have to bring it down just a little bit. So I was very fortunate to have worked with now late Arif Martin, who was the vice president of Atlantic Records, and he it was the one who recommended me to Berklee College of Music, and they were gracious enough to give me a scholarship. So that's how it all started. And so Arif, of course, was a legendary producer. And so he's the one who did the cast album of Rent and did Beaches with
Right.
Bette Midler and For the Boys soundtrack with Bette and also, of course, From a Distance. And Shaka and Roberta Flack. So I found myself in my 20s in the middle of all this. And so it was a great start. And so that's sort of like how I got my background. And now I have my own company with my partner on Broadway. And so we're obviously very excited about the new projects. But that's sort of like the background. Yeah, it's
See, nothing
yeah,
I said was exaggerated, or you assisted in that time on those projects, and now you take
I
all of that
did.
knowledge and all of that
Yes,
incredible ethics and the works that you've learned and the skill
thank
set,
you.
and now you bring it to your own project that we're here to talk about, everybody. And I want you to know that the piece, this really, it is an incredible idea, an incredible piece, and I can't wait to talk to you about it. Happy Hour Blues, Volume 2, the demo sessions. There's a 3-volume project, and this is the
Yes,
second
and a
volume. So,
book,
and a
and a
book.
book.
Look at the and a book. What, TJ? What is it? I read it's a queer immigrant story. I
Yeah.
mean, can you be more timely in the world we live in today?
Robert, it was not planned that way, but all of a sudden we found ourselves in with the story where a country-themed gay bar in Hell's Kitchen was set, and I had set this like two years ago that I thought, okay, that sounds about right for this because I wanted to use blues rock and country, like a modern country themed songs for this particular project. And I didn't want the queer setting just to have um, the current contemporary dance music part of it. I wanted a different sound and wanted to use the happy hour to introduce various characters that come in and out. I call them seasonal friends, which is also a song in the show. But it's very interesting to be able to combine various stories in that setting. So I wanted it to be in that setting where we get to hear the stories of these 6 characters, including a very feisty woman, a bartender who is hopefully not confirmed yet, but hopefully will be Mary Bridget Davies, who played Janis Joplin on Broadway. So it's not cast yet. We're doing something a little different though. So I don't know if you want to get into that right away, but
No, like what I love about it, and the book is available on Amazon. You could get the book for less than
yes,
15 bucks. and
Correct.
the book, and you could stream the music. And
Yes.
you have a relationship with Mary Bridget Davies. Like you have worked together. You've done a
Yeah.
lot of theater together. What I
Yeah.
love about this project is A, you're doing it differently and doing it in your own way. But B, when I read your bio and I read all the amazing things that you've done and the projects you've worked on and the work you've done, it says at the end that you've been an advocate and have been working for the LGBT causes since the early 90s. Why? I don't know anything about you. I don't know your history and your story. I know you have Turkish background and I love Turkish food
Yeah.
and I wanna eat have Turkish coffee with you and have some, I don't know, some some good Turkish shish kebab. But what I want to
Yeah.
know from you is why is that part of it been such a mission in your life? Why a story
Yeah.
about the queer community? Why are you at the front line? You could write about anything. Why this?
Yeah. So Robert, I'm a little older than you are. So, but when I was coming up, um, three things changed my life. One was Angels in America. One was Rent, and then I found myself working with Arif, who was also Turkish American. Ahmet Erdogan, who founded Atlantic Records, is Turkish American. So Turkish Americans, I think, have this fondness for good American music, and I think we contribute something a little different to it. I don't know, but the third element was I came out, and when those things combined, when we didn't have any rights, by the way, at that time. You know, the best that we got at that time in the early 90s was like "Don't Ask, Don't Tell," which was, I mean, I know it sounds horrifying now, but that's all we had back then. And I found myself after coming out really being an advocate, and being an activist at that time, and really fighting for marriage equality and everything. So I've witnessed also the I can't say it's post AIDS era, but it was certainly, we had just discovered, um, you know, access to medications that worked. So my older brothers didn't have that opportunity. So a lot of them died in their 40s and 50s. So I thought it was going to be my mission moving forward that everything that I originally do, on Broadway, off Broadway, what with musicals, with records, would have to have a queer theme one way or the other. Because look how far we've come with that, even with the challenges that are going on right now for our trans brothers and sisters. I think, we never gave up, and we got it. Even the Supreme Court right now thinks, you know what? We'll screw up everything, but we're not going to screw with the gays. So
Well, I want to say thank you because I'm 42. My husband is 40. And on the back of a lot of people who have stood up in very hard times, marched, talked, we lost an entire generation of some of the greatest minds and people of all time due to the homophobia and neglect of what happened in this country. These stories need to be told, and we need to continue to tell amazing queer stories with characters that are people we could look up to and love and understand and know, so we could still in this day destigmatize what goes on with the queer community.
exactly, and I think that's, you said it exactly right. And I do think these stories, I'm interested in these stories because now we get to be older. We didn't have that luxury. A lot of us died.
Yeah.
And I think we get to be older, so now we're having other types of issues. So I wanted to bring young queer folk along with middle-aged queer folk, some older queer folk in this musical, and some of the interactions that I feel is hilarious. It's mainly a comedy, but we do touch on a few things. It's all this incredible diverse community, and they are also having their issues, and with a few drinks, these issues come out at the most awkward way and place. So I thought this has to be written, and I did.
Well,
So
when when I read about it, it's written. Your press release is written in a fun way where it literally says it's COVID. You're out of your house. You're late night thinking about ideas. Things are coming to you, and this is kind of born. It's a three-part set, so it's not just the traditional. I wrote a musical, and I'm going to get it up and out. There's a book element. There's a recording element. How did this come to you, and what do we expect to see with this project?
Technology with AI, I never thought that it would advance at a level where I could actually release the music on Spotify and Apple before we actually launched the project. I never thought at the time that the in production, where I have access to a lot of great technology, but when I started experimenting with AI voices and orchestration, I noticed that I could really present this before it's actually launched. And that's a first, I think, or at least I think I'm one of the first. Our company is among the first that is actually doing this. So not to um, go get too technical, but actually what you're hearing, what you will on Spotify with Happy Hour Blues Volumes 1 and 2 are AI voices, including a gospel choir.
I was going to
Yeah,
ask you who sings on this.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And so that nobody sings on this. It is purely AI voices, synthetic voices that we used, and all I do is just it's my music, it's my lyrics. We did release the lyrics as
Mhm.
a book so that people who are interested in following the evolution of the project can actually see how it started. And I think if Lin-Manuel had access to this technology, that Hamilton mixtape would have been AI.
Right.
It would have been, I think, done in a different way. But of course, once we're done with the demos, then we get to create opportunities for, choreographers, actors, singers, you name it. It just the technology is allowing us to advance productions at its pre-production stage a little bit faster. We still got to do a lot of work, but I think that's what's different. You're able to hear the show without a cast and without any singers, fully produced.
And it's streaming right now. You can be able to stream,
Streaming.
and then
Yeah.
volume 3 will be out in the future.
Volume 3 is a little going to be a
Okay,
little different.
tell
It's
me.
it's uh it's going to be a surprise.
Okay,
So I wanted to leave that one a little bit on
okay,
the mysterious side, but
okay, TJ, I get it. You're a businessman and a
there are
showman.
two volumes, 17, 18 songs on there, plenty to absorb
So
before volume 3.
if people are not from New York and the New York area, they're listening to us all around the world. Hell's
Yeah,
Kitchen is kind of the epicenter of queer culture in New York City. It's
correct. Yeah,
gay bar after club after restaurant. It is a place where people can be free and be who they are. There are country bars. There are dance
yeah,
clubs. There you can go to Blazing Saddles, and you
that's
could
right.
you could whoop it up in all different genres and styles. Why country? Why did this style of music hit you?
I wanted what's going on in America right now. A couple of years ago, certain TV series started um, getting created, and now they're at the top. For instance, Boots. For instance, Heated Rivalry.
Mhm.
So these are putting queer stories in very quote unquote straight settings. We've always been everywhere, but I think now queer stories are not just about RuPaul's Drag Race. Nothing wrong with that, but I just wanted more diverse stories that about queer people. Like I think it was Toni Morrison who said, they always asked her this racist question, like, why are you always writing about Black lives? And she said, I'm not writing about Black lives. I'm writing about lives. You are seeing it that way. And I was like, it's actually queer lives, yes, but they are lives. And I wanted it to sound in a very American blues rock kind of way. And also, country music has evolved and it's become really accessible and incredibly LGBTQ friendly. And I think I'm loving what I'm hearing. The sound of Tracy Chapman has evolved into something incredibly exciting. And I wanted to sort of, play around with that a little bit. And it's really, really interesting to, we also mix a little bit of gospel in there with the gospel choir, but this is Americana. This is roots Americana music. So
That's what I think is so I without listening to the volume yet, because if you're listening to us, we're gonna listen to it. I'm gonna listen to it the second we're done. But what I love about it is that there's kind of a subtext. It's the same thing that's been done with African American community and country, or take Beyonce, or take people. American music around is country is a lot of people consider it country music. And queer country artists have come on this show because we are where the queer kids come to play. And we have talked about feeling excluded from mainstream country, and people talk about just the same way that different ethnic groups, racial groups, sexuality, genders feel excluded from so it's a real interesting play, TJ, to write a musical about queer country music in
yeah, yeah.
America, because sometimes
Beyonce helped.
it but sometimes queer and America don't always
Yeah.
go together. It's a struggle.
Uh, my partner said, TJ, what are you doing in this environment? Really? Queer? And there's two characters are dealing with immigration stuff. In a country bar using, this particular music. What are you doing? I said, I'm not doing anything. This is happening right now. I'm just putting it on, you know, hopefully Broadway. And I think this is not something different than what America is experiencing every single day. It's just that I think the focus is going to be a particular way. But Beyonce certainly helped with the last record.
So the album, who do you hope streams it? Who is this written for? Who is it? Theater fans? Is it country fans? Is it the queens out here in these streets? Who's supposed to listen to this album?
Well, Volume Two has an a cappella number, for instance. It's talking about this you know ex-military guy who's talking about an affair that he's had with his commander. Then there is hopefully Mary Bridget will be singing it, a very heartbroken mother who's talking about a child that she has lost. There are songs about a lover who, lovers who are together, who've been together for a number of years, but something is silenced in their relationship and they can't figure it out. And then there are those who don't fit in, even in the queer community. I wanted to give each voice a particular story with each song. And so I don't know what category of, listeners on Spotify. I'm assuming Broadway and musical theater listeners are probably the most broad-minded when it comes to styles. And like Sondheim always said, content decides what the style is. So even within this record, you're going to hear different styles based on the character's story. So I'm hoping that it is mainly, at first, musical theater listeners.
It's gonna be. This is exciting. I want people to know that while the album out right now is AI, the intention is always it's going to get on its feet. It's going to be cast. What's the next steps for this project that you hope or you can foresee, even if it's just a wish right now or a goal? And what
Yeah,
is the goal? What's the
yeah.
pipeline?
I think the next step are the regular steps. I mean, we've taken some unusual steps to start it, but I think moving forward now, we have to do our what's called a 29-hour reading, which is our first meeting with the industry and basically saying this is now a show that we're getting prepared to do. And I don't know whether I think the first steps would be off Broadway. That's my hope, and certainly something that looks like a bar.
This is going to be fun. This is my kind of show, TJ.
Yeah,
I
I
want.
mean, people will be drinking during the show. What can I say? It'll be immersive. We are absolutely certain that it will be an immersive show, and maybe during happy hour, if we can actually make that happen. You go to see Happy Hour Blues during happy hour. So that's what we're hoping to do off Broadway.
What I love is that you're changing the game. You're being unconventional in a conventional way where you're still following the certain protocols, but doing it in a creative. We need the art has to evolve. The times have to evolve, and that's what you're doing, and that's what's so exciting. I was reading about your Turkish background. I joked about Turkish coffee and shish kebab, but um, I'm
They're
Italian
excellent.
American. My family is Italian. Sometimes culturally, we're so defined by our culture, and sometimes culture and queerness don't go together. Sometimes art and culture don't always go together. I'm sure when you said you wanted to be an artist, maybe there was somebody who would rather have you been a dentist or a doctor, or maybe or not, or maybe was the journey hard for you, or did you have a great? It's hard.
It was hard. My mother took about 2 years to adjust to it, but she finally did come around. My dad, same thing. But the funniest thing about coming out was I talked to my best friend, and I at the time, I'm Arif's assistant, and I'm like, I don't know how Arif is going to react if I come out. And she said, he's working with Boy George. I don't think he really cares one way or the other. And at the time, he was not working with Boy George, but he had already worked with Boy George. So my friend reminded me that they have a record together. And he's producing Bette Midler. And at the time also we were working with Michael Crawford's first solo record. All these things I thought, all right, I don't think he's going to care. And may you rest in peace. It's difficult for that particular culture. So it wasn't talked about. It's not like it is right now.
Right.
Back in the day, coming out meant, so there it is, and then you didn't talk about it. It hadn't become this cultural integration that we enjoy today. So, how was it for you?
Oh, how much time do you have, TJ? I came out later in
I think
life.
we
I
need to
came
go to
out
happy hour for this one.
in,
Yeah.
done in my early 30s. I came out in my early 30s after I had been married and had my whole wife and life. And then when I got divorced, um, not because of me coming out, but because life just took us. I mean, I knew I was not like everybody else, but I figured this is way easier. I don't have to deal with this skeleton in my closet. And then at 32, I had to deal with the skeleton in my closet and all the fears and anxieties and what I thought was going to be so traumaful and triggering in my family. None of it was anything what I thought it was going to be. I know that's not for everybody, but I think the people that love and care about you want you to be happy and your whole entire self. And as time goes on, we need to, the people who still have fears and misconceptions and angst about it, we need to ease them and have show a little grace and show them that we're just trying to love people we love. And we're not here to take anything or change anybody. We just want to be who we are. That's it.
My Turkish mother became a huge LGBT advocate. So for anyone who's struggling out there, still it's not that easy. I mean, we've come a long way, but I'm sure it's still tough.
Yeah.
There's always hope, but if there isn't, we are each other's family.
Yep.
The queer community, I believe, the LGBTQ folks, we create a safe zone and safe families for each other. And I think that's our number one go-to place. And then if people are, um, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, cousins want to join in, it's wonderful. Uh, but if not, we got this.
We got this. Well, now you'll be
Yeah.
my part of my chosen family, TJ, so that I'll meet you at happy hour. I'll meet you right down there in Hell's Kitchen, and first drinks on me.
Well, wonderful, because we would love to see you in the show as well. So
I'll be
you're
there.
gonna audition for us?
You're gonna make me come out of retirement here.
Look,
I'm
I
ready.
know I don't know if I'm sure your listeners and viewers are aware, but I am so sorry that I missed your Christmas show at 54 Below. People don't know you're an amazing
Wait,
singer.
don't.
And
Wait, See, I always think I do this show for my mom and my grandma. I don't realize that people actually check me out. Thank you. From you, I have a version of From a Distance that we did during COVID that when I reached out to and talking about Bette Midler and that recording, and I did it during COVID, and it got me back talking about coming out and getting back into show business happened at the same time. Because at 18, I thought my life had to be conventional, and I had to go to college and be a teacher and get married and have kids, and I went to Juilliard. I had to give all of that up to be a normal. Who wants to be normal anyway? To be a normal
Mhm.
person, and at 32, going to acting school and doing musical theater and starting this and doing concerts, um, became a whole second life. Every dream that I had became true when I became my authentic true self. It all kind of fell into place.
It's the best way. You can't have any song just live inside of you. It has to come out. The songs need to come out. And I can't sing. I can sing in tune, but that's not enough. That doesn't make me Robert. That doesn't make me Mary Bridget. That's a special talent. And you know, there are videos of you that I think people should check out. And also these soulful voices as a composer. I mean, you write something and then you guys sing it, and it's like, okay, I did write it, but that's not it. That you guys take it to that next level, and I think that's just why it needs to continue. Um, there's never an end to it.
Well, I'm not gonna fight. I'm working on accepting a compliment, so I'm gonna say thank you. And when you have an audition, give me some sides and some bars, and I'm ready to sing,
Well,
TJ.
you know what? They took me out of that whole process because I'm the creator of it. I don't get to say much on that, which is going to be great because I can have drinks with anyone who's auditioning.
And it's far in advance, but when you're celebrating Pride, June 20th, you and your partner have to come to my Pride show at 54 Below. That's a party.
I'd love to. And if you would indulge us, please listen to the Pride song in the second volume,
Okay.
Boston Pride. I wrote it especially for the people who experienced Boston Pride in 1993. And so I believe it's the third or fourth song on the second volume. It's called Pride. And so if you would indulge us, just listen to that and let me know what you think.
You got it. You got it. I might even learn it. You don't even know what's gonna happen. TJ, that's a deal. Done. I'm gonna,
Okay.
I'm gonna
You
stream.
need three background vocalists, but I think you always go out there with a team, so it'll be fantastic.
No, because when I didn't have a team last Christmas, that's a whole other story. Have a good team.
Another drink. That drink is from me.
Go to tjarmand.com is where you can find out all the information, the
Yeah.
links to get the book and all of that. It's streaming wherever music is streaming. And I want everyone to know Happy Hour Blues Volume 1, Volume 2, and all of the projects that are to come. Stay up to date so that all the links, all the information is going to be below us right now. And there's a lot more writing and work and music and journey that TJ has for us. So we have to stay in touch. Please come back and be my friend and come on, talk anytime.
Anytime. Anytime. Thank you so much, Robert.
It's been an honor. What a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.